We appreciate you pressing that play button, and welcome to another episode of
FanKingHaters.
On Location, your weekly fantasy show where we dish out hate on those fantasy players that mess up your DraftKings and your FanDuel lineup. I'm Marcus the Greek. Here with me live and in color is Melodic. And on location, Messiah the One. You can follow us during the games on DraftKings. I'm going to get right into the hating this week like I do every week. And I'm going to hate on some of y'all, some of our fans. We had another weekly gas challenge go by. We put $40 up. Y'all still scared to meet us at the pump. Again, that 40 still out there. Hit us up in the DM on Twitter at FanKingHaters. Or
I don't know why they won't do it, man. I've been having nothing but losing lineups. Free money.
It's been a while since we said we're in the green. They free money. Y'all scared, you know.
Haters.
And like Messiah said last week, scared money don't make money. But Melodic, who you hating on this week?
This week I'm going with Mike Thomas.
Oh,
4 points for the week.
that's bad for the number one receiver.
The team scored 52.
But
what were you doing?
Well, in all fairness to the Saints, their defense looked like a different defense. They did score 21 points on the defensive end, so they didn't need their offense that much. So I can see how that'd be a hate. Now, my hate, I should have saw my hate coming a mile away. You know, say it ain't so, Joe, but it is so. Joe Flacco is a ghost of himself. I try to go out
the big purple.
Yeah, no, he ain't the big purple. He's big purple, all right. It's just this big bruise now. So, Messiah, who you hating on from last week?
Well, my player should have took the blue pill, but he took the red pill. So, Mr. Anderson is my hate. CJ Anderson, 1.7 points. Can't have it. Can't win with it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Especially for a guy who was coming off of 20 carries before the bye week each game to only have 1.76 points. That is a big disappointment. CJ, I was disappointed in the way you looked. We just didn't show up to play the Giants. We had that game penciled in as a dub, and everybody suffered, and even our fantasy teams. So, Melodic,
I would have been better. I would have been better with Booker, who probably played 25% of the snaps.
I agree with that. Melodic, who you rolling out this week?
I'm going with the tier.
Y'all back to the tier pick'em?
Back to the tier pick'em.
Okay.
I'm going with Shady McCoy as my running back.
Okay, that's your first tier.
I'm going with Mike Thomas as my tier
so you're going back to him after last week. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm going right back to him. He's a starter. He gets most of the touches. He's going to bounce back.
I like that play, maybe.
Hey, it's almost like mathematics, right? 2 negatives make a positive. 2 hates makes a winning lineup, maybe.
We'll see.
2 hates make it great. All right. I got Cam Newton as tier 3.
Okay, I like that play.
Do we think we're going to have a problem since he's been missing out on these interviews and everybody's making a big deal? Or is he going to have a great game like he is every time they bring his name up in the media about how bad he is, he does well?
I think he's going to have a great game.
Yeah, I think he's going against Chicago.
Hey,
the defense ain't that great.
Nothing more to say. He's going against Chicago.
I got Tyrod Taylor.
I like that play.
As my tier 4. I got McKinnon as tier 5.
Okay.
I think he's going to put on a lot of points. He's been raking.
Ever since Cook went down with that injury, he's been looking good.
Right.
He's been looking good.
I got Howard. I know Chicago's terrible, but I think he's really their only weapon.
I was about to say, because you just kind of hated on Chicago, so you're going to go with the Chicago running back?
Yeah, he's the only one really getting points.
Okay.
I got Funches as my tier 7.
Okay.
Going off.
He's been getting a lot of targets. He's been getting a lot of targets. That's your double dip, right?
Yeah, sure is.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
FanKingHater double dip.
And then I'm going with Duke Johnson as my tier 8.
That's another Greek pick. I've been talking about him all season. Third best PPR running back. He's a great pass catcher. We got Kaiser back in the game. I think he had an off week last week, but I think he bounces back this week. Right. I like that play.
Right.
I like that play.
And that's it for my lineup.
For my lineup this week, the theme of my lineup is going to be players coming off buys. Okay. So at quarterback, I went with Tyrod Taylor. He's dirt cheap, allowed me to do other things. They're coming off a bye. Even though he lost his number 1 receivers / tight end with Clay going down, I think they've had a week to prepare for the game. So I also went with Tyrod Taylor. Another player coming off a bye at running back, I went with Joe Mixon. It's a divisional game. He was getting 15 to 20 touches a game before the bye. It's going to be a ground and pound game, so I'm expecting a big game from Joe.
He's a good player because he's an every down back, because you don't have to take him out on third down because he's a receiver running back.
And I'm hoping that's what's on display this week. I hope it's a battle between him and Bell. And then with this pick at running back, it's one of those cases, sometimes coaches think they know everything, and they're not always right. And this coach believed in him more than his other coach did. So I went with Adrian Peterson. He wasn't getting any clock in New Orleans. Then he comes out and he gets 26 carries, and he has a big game. I think that continues this week. So I went with AP.
It really has no choice, because when you think about it, the problem with New Orleans is that he already went into a stable. Right now, the Cardinals are depleted. Who else is on the run the ball? CJ2K is gone.
Yeah.
Andre Ellington is hurt. David Johnson's hurt. And you're not going to rely on Karen Williams to go ahead and step in the shoes to do anything for Adrian Peterson. So AP is the best and only pick at the running game for them right
That's
now.
why I give me some AD all day like his nickname. I picked him up last week. I'm going to continue to roll with him. Old man Fitz. He made me look like a genius last week. 10 catches, 138 yards, and a score. AP opened up those passing lanes for him, surprisingly. I think he gets more targets. He leads the NFL in red zone targets, so I think he gets a look this week and actually gets in. Another stat pick here, I went with Javaris Landry. 4th leading target getter in the NFL, and that's without one less game. You think that's going to be a hate?
Yeah, that's a hate.
No, it won't be a hate, because Devontae Parker hasn't played all week. He's in my own fantasy league, and with him being out, Jarvis Landry's still going to get his 14 targets, and he's still going to go ahead and produce. It's DraftKings, so every catch counts.
And,
so 7 catches, 7 points. Any yards to that is extra points.
And he's going against, like I said, he's going against the New York Mess. He leads his team in red zone targets. And, again, he's 4th leading target getter in the NFL. So it was just a stat play.
Right, and the only thing that I can say to be worried about is every time that we do talk down on the Jets, they surprise you every time.
Yeah. Right. Then at my last wide receiver, I went with the black Frenchman. Messiah mentioned the past 2 weeks he's been on fire. I think it continues against the Ranch Hands. Right. The Ranch Hands have given up multiple wide receiver scores in the past couple weeks. I think it continues even with them coming off a bye. I still think that trend continues because I don't believe in the Ranch Hands defense. It's just that simple. At tight end, theme of my lineup, I went with another person coming off a bye. I went with Jimmy Graham. This cute stat about the Giants really sold the deal for me. They've allowed a tight end score in every game this season. Jimmy Graham's coming off a bye. I think he gets the score. For my
appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and make that change in my own fantasy lineup. Thank you.
And then for my flex play, the theme of the show and what we say all the time, if you're not picking Marcus Mariota, you're picking
Delaney Walker.
I went with Delaney Walker at the flex. I'm going to try it out. Put 2 tight ends in my lineup. Cleveland has a habit of making tight ends look like Hall of Fame wide receivers. So I'm going to roll it out. I think Delaney has a big game.
That might be a hate. Not because I'm hating, but because last time that happened, it didn't work out.
We'll see. It's weekly fantasy, daily fantasy. And then for my defense, I went back to the theme of Season 1 and Season 2, and they still are doing the same thing. So in Season 3, you go with whoever the Browns are playing. So at defense, I went with the Titans. Messiah, who you rolling out this week?
Well, I had one CJ fail me last week, so I'm going to try another CJ this week. I'm going with CJ Beathard at my quarterback position. He's my sleeper pick at $4,900 on DraftKings, and going against Dallas, I'm feeling real comfortable about that. If he gets me 12 points, I'm satisfied. At my running back, who is crushable at the moment, I went with Melvin Gordon. He's averaging 20-plus points in DraftKings each week. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going against Denver, who just made Darkwa look like Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
So at this point,
I think that might be your hate though, just because Bronco fan and being a homer. But our run defense is better than that, and I think we just penciled in that W against the Giants. So that might be your hate.
We'll keep that in mind, but don't hate on me hate on your team player. Adrian Peterson is my other running back. I'm right there with you, Degree, because AP right now, he has a chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove. Right. And being an older running back, he's going to go hard. And the only thing I can see slowing him down is injury. I'm not wishing that on him at all. My first receiver, I'm going with Devontae Adams. I know they got Hudley in at quarterback, but I'm taking my chances being the hot target with Green Bay right now. I picked Michael Crabtree, who's already played. He did give me 11.4 points. I wish I would have picked Cooper, but like I said, Cooper has to prove to me 3 weeks before I could go ahead and jump on that wagon.
I wasn't going to let you slide out of here without bringing that up because he had 11 catches, 200 yards, 2 TDs. I know you had Crabtree. I was going to bring up the Cooper, so he still got 2 more weeks for you.
He still got 2 more weeks. He got 2 more weeks before he could go ahead and get out of the doghouse with me.
Okay.
And my other receiver, I'm going with Jarvis Landry. Just like you, the targets is there, and Devontae Parker being out is one of the reasons why I did it. At tight end, I'm not going to veer away for Zach Ertz until he proves me wrong.
Best tight end in the NFL.
I'm going to continue picking him. He gets the red zone targets, and like you said, man, they got plays just for him, and I like that when it comes to my tight end play. And last week he didn't do much, but I'm thinking that it's my double dip with my quarterback. I'm going with G. Kittles at my flex, so I'm also going with 2 tight ends.
Trying something different.
And with my defense, you know, I'm happy and proud to say for the first time in 3 seasons, it's the first time I'm picking my New Orleans Saints.
So it's so
it's about to snow.
You think the Rob Ryan is out of your defense?
I think as of right now, what they've been producing, when I'm looking at their stats, in the last 3 weeks, they've been double digits. The first 2 weeks was a little rough for them, but they did see, they saw a hot Bradford, which is the only Bradford we've seen this year, and they seen Tom Brady after a loss. So those 2 games weren't good. After that, they've been dominant, and last week they put up 32 DraftKings points, and I'll just be happy that they could give me 10. So who that? That's my lineup.
He just wanted to get them Saints on the air. As always, thank you for pressing play. You can follow us on Twitter at FanKingHaters. What's that IG?
Make sure to check us out on Instagram at FanKingHaters.
Hey, come get this money. $40 dash challenge. Y'all being scared.
They don't want it, man. They don't want it.
Hop a day, go on.